Welcome to the intersection of Bergen Street and Washington. We are in Brooklyn and we're going to wander around on this beautiful, beautiful day. Enjoy the sights with no particular direction, no agenda, no itinerary. We are just letting the wind be at our back. Join me for a wander through Brooklyn. I'm Ariel. This is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching for the first time, say, hey, I'm new. And we'll continue walking around. Hey, Ronan, nice to see you here. Hello, Matt. Hello, Anthony. Hello, Tara. Welcome. Hello, Kay. Nice to see you here too. Welcome. Hello, Robert. Congrats on the New York Post article, says Robert. Thank you so much. So for anyone who doesn't know, I was recently featured in the New York Post, which is one of the oldest newspapers in all New York City history. It was actually the newspaper that was started by Alexander Hamilton, by a different name originally. And are quote unquote making bank by just by walking, end quotes. That was the headline. So let's walk around, let's enjoy the sights, and let me mute for a little bit because there's music. Hey, Lorene. Hello, Dennis from the Netherlands. Not new, but normally a lurker. Hey, Dennis. Thank you so much for saying hi. Everyone, give a round of hearts to Dennis, who watches the show and is commenting for one of the first times. I'm not sure if this is your first time, but I'm glad you're commenting. Thank you so much for saying hello, Dennis. Hello, Ronald. Hello, Wendy, Sharon, Audrey, Michelle from Oregon, Priyesh, welcome. Let me know where you're watching from. That sounds like a Indian name potentially. So thank you so much for tuning in, Priyesh. Hello, Lori. I'm so glad you are getting ready for work. I know you're watching early in the mornings in Hawaii. I wonder if when I go to Greece, it would be on a more reasonable time for you. Ronald says the Dunkin' Donuts avocado toast paid off. maybe that was the key for me being featured in the New York Post. But in all seriousness, I was actually approached by the writer, Noah. And I was interviewed about 2 weeks ago. It was really fun to talk to. We talked for about an hour and we had a great long interview. That hour conversation turned into 2 coats, but it was worth chatting with him nonetheless. Hopefully one day, maybe I'll inspire the writer Noah to make a longer article that's a little bit more in depth. So for people who are wondering, let me actually put up if anyone could put the link of the article. Here's the article. YouTube streamers are making bank just by walking. We don't do anything else. We just walk and we make bank from it. And it was written by Noah Shieldlower. and posted on the New York Post on June 21st, 2021. And here is my thumbnail shot of my Bronx tour, which was a lot of fun. Hey, Joe says, great article, you earned it. Thank you so much, Joe. I'm glad I was on the front cover. It's nice.
What the fuck is wrong?
Hermie says, congratulations on the article. I thought the profiles were nice. Yeah, they were nice. So we're gonna pass by a lot of coffee shops actually on this street. This is Washington Avenue. I really love this avenue. I rarely cover it because, you know, there's some great coffee shops, but there's not much else in terms of tourism going on here. But if you want to experience some kind of local Brooklyn neighborhood, then do consider coming here in this neighborhood of Prospect Heights. I am drinking right now a coffee from a place called Nourish. It's really good. It's actually one of the better coffees I've tried. It's right at the intersection of where I started. And there in the distance, we can actually see Manhattan. Right there in the distance, we see the skinny skyscrapers of Billionaires Row. That one is the Steinway Tower. And it's actually perfectly aligned because of the perspective we're in with the, almost perfectly aligned with the Chrysler building. That's interesting. And that says, yes, great article. Again, so proud of you. Thank you so much, Annette. A late show with Stephen Colbert will come soon after a tour of CBS, says, I don't know. Indeed, that might be the key to get on to, to national broadcast television. YouTuber makes bank by showing local pharmacy. Hey, Mavis from Oregon. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Rafael. Oi, tudo bien? Tudo bem? Welcome. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much for tuning in from Brazil.
Sorry about that, man. I might go one more.
Inspire Life says, congrats on the story. Thank you so much, Inspire Life. I appreciate it. Rafael says, tudo bem, obrigado, which means I'm good. Thank you. Rafael, thank you so much. I bet the reporter watches your channel. Robert, he does indeed. Noah is a fan of the show. Yes. He's been watching for a few months. Hence, that's why he wrote the article. He also has worked with Untapped Cities, which now they're called Untapped New York. And they're friends of the show as well. I collaborated a lot with them in the early days of Urbanist. Haven't done it in a little while, but hopefully will at some point again. Do you feel concerned that the New York Post will spread around New York for fans? No, Matt. The publicity is good for a show like this. Hey, Annette has just become a new member. Oh my God, Annette. Thank you so much. You are awesome, Annette. Should ping the link. I posted it, says Robert. Robert, thank you so much for posting it. I will do so soon. Annette, everyone give hearts to Annette for becoming a supporter right now, a super urbanist here on YT. Thank you so much. Also, a big shout out to everyone else who's a YT member, FB supporter, and a patron. They're all known as super urbanists. Thank you for supporting the show, for sponsoring the show. And huge thank you to Yvonne, George, Lorraine, and a few other people who have gifted me some awesome things for my birthday via the Amazon wish list. With Lorraine, you'll see me wear it soon. George gave me a great book about Spain, and Yvonne gave me a great book about Croatia, and I received a few other books as well. So thank you so much. Do remind me if you send me something. I'll let everyone know. Just to get informed, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert is starred, says George. What do you mean, George? And someone earlier said streamers are getting rich. Well, you know, it is a possibility. It is not quite the case right now, but it is indeed a possibility. Because as I mentioned, this was not mentioned in the article, but in China, live streaming is a $9 billion industry. Some live streamers are actually making more than movie celebrities. And similar things are happening with South Korea and Japan. So live streaming is big in the East, to the point where they're making more money than celebrities. So who knows? It might happen also here in the West. Kay mailed something on Monday. Oh, okay. I can't wait to receive it. Thank you. Early thank you. Hey. Susan says to help you make bank. Hey, thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate the helping me make bank. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, in all full transparency, making videos, you know, this is my livelihood. This is my career, in essence. If you choose to think it's not worth it making money, then don't watch. But for the people who are truly entertained and see value in it, thank you so much for watching and for contributing and for super chatting or for just watching the ads when they pop up in the replays. Thank you so much for that. That said, the article does make it sound like we're making like tons and tons of money. So full transparency is not quite that level yet, but who knows? That might be the case in a year, or something else happens. It suddenly goes viral. I don't know. It might happen. It happened with game streaming like two or 3 years ago. So who knows? Thank you so much, Susan. Love the New York Post article. It significantly raised my opinion about the tabloid. Yeah, I'm in the New York Post without it being a political scandal. That's amazing. That's amazing. A New Yorker couldn't ask for more to get in the New York Post and it not being a political scandal. The New York Post exaggerated. Well, you know, I wouldn't say they exaggerated per se. Let's just say they made it sound. Don't hide that you bought that apartment on the Upper East Side, says Panajotas, that we were seeing live streaming ago. Indeed, I'll keep it. Panajotas says, do not let anyone know. Shh. I have YouTube. I have not. Don't let anyone know that I made so much bank that I'm living in one of those mansions right by the Frick Museum. Shh. Do not let anyone know. Hello, MJ, Mary Jane, nice to see you here. You're full with so much knowledge, says Trish, and I greatly appreciate your sharing. Hope all your dreams come true. Oh, thank you so much, Trish. I appreciate that. Jackie says I'll stop my rant about the New York Post. Sure thing, Jackie. Thank you. Old media has suffered great losses because of the internet. Indeed, they have. It's nice to see them covering new media. At least they're staying up to the times. Let's check out this police precinct in a bit. Today we're just wandering, making bank by just wandering. Yeah, we're wandering around no particular direction. I hope you enjoy. Feel free to ask me any questions or any requests. I'll do my best to show that particular area or structure or type of business. I like the building across the street. Me too, Sunshine. Inspired Life says, I'm wandering and wondering. Thank you so much, Trish. You did an awesome job with the wedding. Love your camera work and your interactions with the guests, says Joe. Oh, Joe, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. So Joe's referring to, I live streamed a wedding. It was 8 hours long, and I was the virtual MC. So MC stands for the Master of Ceremonies. And if you're not familiar with like American style weddings, I'm not sure if this is the same in Europe, do let me know, or other parts of the world. But there, in many types of weddings, there's sometimes an MC, a Master of Ceremonies, which is the person basically hosting the wedding, which is not the bride nor groom, nor is it the officiate, which is the person who actually makes the wedding official. I was the MC, but virtually, via the live stream, because there was a lot of friends and family who couldn't attend, and I was streaming for them for 8 hours on Sunday on the highly varlit channel. It was very unique because the wedding was walked around. Oh, we have undercover cops. So this is a police precinct. It's one of those many police precincts that were built after the Civil War draft riots and all the way through about the 1920s that were meant to look like fortresses. This one was built just before actually the Civil War draft riots, so it predates that. This one's 1845. And yeah, they were meant to look like fortresses on purpose because they wanted to lock down, they wanted to crack down on crime in these areas. Hey! Christine says the wedding was so wonderful. Audrey says, when are you traveling again? Audrey, to be honest, I am deeply, deeply excited to travel again. I'm traveling again from June 30th all the way to July 19th. And the reason I'm insanely excited to travel is because I want to show you new places that I myself haven't explored. I kind of want to show you something new. I love New York, but my intention always since starting Urbanist was not to stay in New York full time. And I hope to continue traveling more and more and more. That's always been my intention since day one, to continuously travel around the world and show you new places via live video. Lady Coach says, beautiful shirts. Thank you so much, Lady Coach. I appreciate that. And the only places where cars are parked like this is the NYPD. Yes, over here. Let me show you this way. Right over here. So cars are usually parked like this when you're in front of NYPD stations. So this is the NYPD. Hey, Roxanne, that sucks, but let's not talk about those topics. My heart goes out to whoever was the victim in that case. It sucks. It sucks, and it also doesn't suck. Depends on your point of view. When a vlogger or a live streamer captures something that is a crime, it sucks because it might be a traumatizing thing to see. Also doesn't suck because you might actually catch the perpetrator because of it. So my heart goes out to Walk, Ride, Fly, but let's not talk about those topics. Cool fortress, I like it. Lots of parking in Queens. It says lots of parking like that in Queens when you were here. Ah, Paul, yeah, where is that? So I'm not entirely sure if this is NYPD because they have a different badge. It's the City of New York Police. Has to be NYPD. Beautiful door as well. Manolito, Saturday I'll be in New York City. Oh, Manolito, that's so cool that you're visiting New York once again. Man, enjoy it. Definitely enjoy it. You're gonna have some fun. Hey, hola Evelyn, qué lindo día hoy en Nueva York. Saludos para todos. Evelyn says, what a beautiful day in New York. Hello to everyone. Qué bien que estás mirando. Espero que todo está bien. Sí, un día precioso hoy aquí en Nueva York. Y bien fresquecito también. Hace como 60 y pico de grados. No, hace como 71 grados. Que está bien. I don't see any NYPD cars. Yeah, which I found interesting. I'm not entirely sure what's exactly the situation with that building. Matt Lee says, "What Greek food haven't I tried yet?" I've tried a lot of Greek food. I have a feeling I'll find a lot of the things I already tried over there. But you will have to find out when I go over there to Greece. Well, I haven't tried yet. Am I looking forward to anything specific? Nothing pops into my head currently, Matt. But you will see food in my Greek trip on live video. Jackie asked, have I ever gone to a live taping of SNL? No, not SNL. Never done it. It's a bit of a long process because you have to wait in line. I'm not sure if they changed that since. Maybe now tickets are online. But I've done Stephen Colbert when he used to do his own show on Comedy Central. And I did Jon Stewart when also he used to do his show on Comedy Central. And that process was a lot easier because I would just get tickets online. Kay says, don't forget to slam that like button. Indeed, don't forget to slam that like button. Thoughts on the Van Gogh experience? I was blown away, to be honest. Would I spend $50 on it? Or 54? That's a bit tough, you know. If I had the money to splurge, or if I were on a date, which, by the way, was not the case yesterday, for people who were speculating that Jen is a friend of mine for many years. If it were a date, or if I had money to splurge, then I would. Otherwise, you know, it is a bit expensive. It is a bit expensive. Paul says, are you in Williamsburg? No, Prospect Heights. So back in the 1970s, around there, oh no, right after, actually not the 1970s, 1968, right after Martin Luther King got assassinated, there was all around the U.S. And this is Tom's Restaurant. So there were massive riots all around the U.S. Martin Luther King, if you don't know, was the man who had the I Have a Dream speech at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. It was a huge, huge deal. And he was a powerful leader in the civil rights movement. But unfortunately, he was assassinated. It was a terrible, terrible day for American history, and there was race riots all around the U.S. on both sides. People who were of the African American population were pissed off that such a big leader was murdered. There was speculation that this was a CIA hit job. No one knows 100% for sure. And then beyond that, there was riots on the other side. People who were taking the time to say, screw these other communities. The riots hit here in Brooklyn very hard. A lot of the white-owned businesses were trashed because of all the anger that was coming out. However, the community, the African American community that was mostly based here, and this was one of the hardest hit neighborhoods, enjoyed this restaurant. To them, this was a part of their community. It was been here for so many decades by that point that they end up coming here and blockading the rioters from destroying this particular restaurant, Tom's Restaurant. And to this day, it still survives. I'm not sure if it's the same owners, might be, but still the same restaurant, still has the same look to this day, and it was saved because of the community decided to save it. And it was a white-owned business, but it was such a part of the community that they decided to protect it. So you can see that right over here. Oh, wait. Close. $1936. I think they were Polish, if I'm correct, because there was a point where this was somewhat of a Polish neighborhood. Catherine says, "Great pancakes here." That girl was poisoned for us. Yeah. Indeed, she was. So I never actually tried it. Well, maybe I'll come back. There's a lot of old photos here. Old photos here. One of my favorite restaurants in Brooklyn, says Catherine. I'm so glad, Catherine. Cosmic Kid says his family won a court case against the CIA. Oh, did they? Oh, yeah, because of the tapes, I think. CIA was surveilling Martin Luther King, I think, without jurisdiction, without warrant. I mean, without warrant, which is illegal in the U.S. What neighborhood are you in? Says Jackie. Prospect Heights. Salam from Dubai, nice to see you here. Did Jackie, did I get one of those wedding gift bags? Asked Jackie. No, I did not, Jackie. She's referring to the wedding I covered on Sunday on Highly Varlet. Wendy says, can't stop laughing. Hey, Khalid, salam alaikum. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Someone get Wendy oxygen tank. Jackie says, I gotta go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in, Jackie. Appreciate you. All right, we're back. Hello, Allie. Nice to see you here. Ines, you spotted me. Oh, so cool, Ines. Where was it? It's a beautiful neighborhood. Lots of great architecture. Mary says, surprised at how many triangular buildings there are in New York. That is a good point. There's a lot more than... There's a lot. This is probably the city I've seen the most triangular buildings. And I think it might be due to... because Brooklyn has different grid systems. Because each neighborhood was individually developed. And when those grid systems collide, then you have these awkward plots of land and misaligned streets. And that might be one of the reasons why you see a lot of triangular buildings. Khalid says, the city is so warm and beautiful. I'm wearing sunglasses. That's great, Khalid. Our nightclub's open, so. I don't know. I think they are because I've actually seen a few friends go to them, so I think they are. Well, we found Susan the Sparrow hanging out, trying to find some food. And great view, says Wendy. Oh yeah, you know, if you live, I think, in the top of this apartment, you'll have a view of the city. If you have one of those balconies, you most likely will have a view of the city. Let's see. Yeah, you probably will, because you're way higher than most buildings here. JL says Ariel has the best YT music. Oh, I'm so glad you think so. I am coming out with a third album in about a week or two. Stay tuned. It's almost near completion. So excited. Ooh, another beautiful cafe. Look at this. I love cafes. Loving the clouds today, says Milo. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous clouds. I like clouds too. Is this a young and hip area, says Queen Mother. There's elements that are young and hip. Now, I would call this a young and hip neighborhood, yes. It's kind of a mix, because there is a little bit of family-oriented neighborhoods here. Not as like hip as, say, a Bushwick. Not as young as, say, a East Village. George says, nice weather in New York. It's today muggy and rainy in San Diego. Oh no, George. Marta, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Marta. JL, would it be sold on Amazon or my... but if you buy the digital album on my Teespring, you're gonna get a little bonus. So it might be worth getting the digital album. Also, you get a continuous mix, which is one track and just continues on the entire album. GTA, that thing, says Ronald. Yeah, it'd be so cool if that was actual. I'm not sure if GTA had those construction type vehicles. Kay says it's rainy over there. Oh no, Kay. And Kay, you mentioned earlier that you're reaching out to local newspapers. That's so cool. Okay. I would love to be featured by Irish media. What's the main Irish television station? Let me know. So for the people who are wondering, as we're wandering, does Brooklyn have a museum? Is it worth coming over to good old BK for some art? Well, my answer is a resounding yes. This is the Brooklyn Museum. It was built to rival the Metropolitan. They even hired the same architect. It was supposed to be 11 times bigger than it is today. However, Brooklyn at that time was a different city. And they quite didn't have the budget that New York, which is now the island of Manhattan, had at the moment. And thus they canceled those plans. So we only have an 11th of the original museum. But imagine, just imagine, Brooklyn had the budget for it. And they would have completed the plans. This would have been the largest museum in the world. It will have rivaled the Louvre. It will have rivaled, of course, it will have bested the Met. It will have been the largest museum in the world, at least one of them. But no, Brooklyn did not have money. Tisk, 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 tisk. Donald, I love Brooklyn. Let's look like you do, Donald. Hey, I can't wait to visit this museum and the libraries again. Yeah, let me show you the statuary they have up here. It's really cool and impressive. Do you think the David Bowie exhibit will ever come back? Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that. You know that immersive Van Gogh experience was really interesting. And it would have been very interesting if it was all about David Bowie. Just imagine all the music videos of David Bowie playing on that gigantic 4D screen experience. I think people would pay a lot of money to go there. We have St. Peter, Isaiah, Jeremiah, David, Moses, Lao Tzu. Oh, they got Lao Tzu, my favorite philosopher. I love Lao Tzu. Oh, that's so cool. Lao Tzu was a philosopher, a spiritual leader. Countrysides and mountains of China. Apparently on the water ox, spreading wisdom throughout the land. His teachings end up being compiled into the Tao Te Ching, and then later became the religion known as Taoism or Taoism. Tao, which is the thing he preached, meant the way. He apparently knew the way as he was riding a huge water ox. Right next to him we have Confucius. Pretty cool guy. Let's talk more about legal stuff and more about honor with parents and things like that. He was more practical than the Lao Tzu. More grounded than Lao Tzu. Robert says, pronounce Taoism. Yes, but sometimes here in America we do pronounce it Taoism. Is that this museum in the movie Splash? Says Wendy. Sorry, William. William, great question. Ooh. I don't know. Good question. I haven't seen that movie in a while. So here's the grand Boulevard of Brooklyn. This was supposed to rival Paris. But then again, Brooklyn ran out of money. So we did not get Paris here in the US. But we got very close. We got very close, and we still could get there. Imagine this becoming the Champs-Elysees of Brooklyn. Eastern Parkway. So what do you think? Should we A, extend the museum to its original size, which was supposed to be 11 times bigger? And B, should we make these buildings more beautiful, brighten them up, make a uniform style along Eastern Parkway, start opening shops along the base and restaurants, and make this into the Champs-Elysees of Brooklyn? And plus add a tram, close one down the lanes, so people can get back and forth on this beautiful boulevard a little bit easier. Oh yeah, I already got the plan set up. Let me know. Yo. So let me know if you would like that to happen once I become a master planner of New York, a la Robert Moses. But unlike Robert Moses, I really like trains and trams and buses and bike lanes and walks. So like an anti-Robert Moses. I'll be the Ramses to Robert Moses. Wow, it's 41 degrees Celsius. Whoa. That is crazy. You would be better than Robert Moses, says Donald. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate the kind words. Hello, photos from New York. Nice to see you here. George says, please go inside. I'll show you a peek, but they might turn me away. Yeah, they might turn me away. I'll show you from the window. I think they'll be okay with that. I wish I could show the inside, but I do have previous indoor tours, so do check it out. So I have at least 2 on Facebook, and there's 1 on YouTube. Search David Bowie's New York, and I also have the live video where I actually show the entire exhibit in full detail inside the Brooklyn Museum. And then I have a full Brooklyn Museum tour while it was closed on FB. So let's see who's up here. Hey, Mahi. Namaste. From India, welcome. Botanical Garden is on the other side of the museum. It is indeed. Wendy, can I go inside? No, unfortunately not. Unless if I have explicit permission, which I managed to get before. So check out those older videos. If anyone can dig it up from the Facebook archives. So we got Pindar. I don't know who Pindaro is. Don't know that guy. Or Pindar. Don't know who Pindar is. Here we got Sophocles. Ooh, Sophocles. How do I pronounce that guy's name? He wrote Oedipus Rex. Sophocles. Oh, we're going to talk about Herodotus. Oh, Herodotus. You know, I wouldn't be making this show if it weren't for Herodotus, because he is the father of history. Literally. He invented history. At least as we know it today. And it disappeared into the sun. We got Socrates right over here. Him as well. Pindar was a Greek poet. Oh, thank you so much, Robert. Thank you for letting me know who Pindar was. But I didn't know about the poet. Here we got Mr. Softy Truck. If you're in the mood for ice cream, this is the place. Nancy dice un avión nos está saludando. Airplane is saying hello to us. Indeed they are. Oh. Yeah, okay. Bear with me. I'm gonna put the camera down for a little bit because I want to show you a secret in the back of this museum. But I don't want these guys to stop me and tell me that I can't film, even though it's public area. So I'm gonna put the camera down for a bit. Just bear with me. Ronaldo says, catching up with your old crew. I heard Socrates was the life of the party. He is indeed. So I gotta hype this up. So I told you that this was supposed to be 11 times bigger. Well, imagine this entire parking lot will have been the museum. And here you can see how the museum is literally unfinished. Right here in the back. Look at that. Literally unfinished. I am not joking around with you guys. You know, I've gotten many comments, or a few, not many, but I've gotten a few comments of people saying, "Man, why are you making up so much stuff? Everything you're saying is wrong, inaccurate." It's funny because sometimes when you tell people history in a casual, lighthearted way, you know, off the top of your head, people think you're like making it up. And I find that very funny. So I did not plan this, but you know, I love bumping into things and kind of talking about its history. It's really fun. So don't be afraid to learn about the history and kind of just wander around and see if you bump into it. Hey Sally, nice to see you here. Judy says, how is this made up? Too many trolls on the internet. I think so. Kenya says, are you serious? They're not so happy. Ignore them. Yes. Precisely exactly what I'm doing. So some parts were slightly extended, like this one is a little bit newer. But I don't think they followed the original plans of the museum, because it was supposed to be all in Beaux-Arts style. So this is the Brooklyn Museum, everyone, that you're seeing right now. Wendy says, loving your history, you're the best. Thank you so much, Wendy. Those windows don't let too much light in. Nope, nope. Those are very good blinds. Blinds made out of brick. It's so sad that they didn't finish this building. I hope one day they revive those plans. Be so cool, or at least make like an updated version of both. Says he's not making this up. Thank you so much, Donald. Well, they have a little cool backyard area. So pro tip, everyone, check out. There's a nice backyard area that you can relax. There's a restaurant and bar as well. That's nice. Jorge says, again, I prefer the Botanical Garden as it still stands. My guess is the museum will have taken part of that land. Potentially, but maybe not. I don't know exactly for sure, but this parking lot is rather huge. So there is a good chance that the parking lot would have covered most of the original plan. So maybe not, because the Botanical Garden is right there. Maybe we can just go into the Botanical Garden. Okay, so I gotta hype this up a little bit. But I mentioned when we went to the Statue of Liberty that there is many replicas that were actually made by Bartholdi himself, the architect of the original Statue of Liberty. There's one in Paris, and that one is actually now being transported around. It's going to pay a visit to New York. There's a bunch of tiny little ones. He made like souvenir Statue of Liberties before the Statue of Liberty was even built. However, there's one Statue of Liberty here in New York City. And the Statue of Liberty, you know, the one in the New York Harbor is in good shape. The Statue of Liberty, you know, maybe does a lot of walking like I do. But there's one Statue of Liberty that enjoys a lot her New York City donuts, and there's no judgment. New York City donuts are amazing. Statue of Liberty, who's a little bit, you know, kind of having a good time with New York City pastries, like myself as well. So here is the Statue of Liberty, the alternate version. Music. So this is by an unknown artist and maker from Akron, Ohio. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Akron, or is it Akron? And it says, perhaps no American symbol is as widely recognized or powerfully expressive than liberty enlightening the world. The Statue of Liberty. Since 1885, when the 151-foot original created by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi was erected on Bedloe's Island, the colossal figure has inspired numerous smaller-scale replicas intended to echo the ideals of freedom, tolerance, and opportunity that it embodied for many of the immigrants arriving at Ellis Island. The 30-foot replica was commissioned about 1900 by Russian-born auctioneer William H. Flatow to sit on top of an 8-story Liberty warehouse in 64th Street. Oh, wow, this is interesting. Then one of the highest points of Manhattan's Upper West Side. Flatow thus combined his entrepreneurial spirit with the pride in the adopted country in which he had prospered. Although squatter in proportion and less gracefully detailed than the Bartholdi's version, Flatow's replica retains something of the forceful gravity of expression by Bartholdi. Newly restored, this little Lady Liberty takes its place within the distinguished collection of the outdoor sculpture and architectural fragments that the Brooklyn Museum began in about 1960, in effort to preserve New York City's treasures that were increasingly at risk. Squatter in proportion, yeah, she's a bit squatter. This is Lady Liberty's sister. So it was not made by the original sculptor, but it was made shortly after Lady Liberty was installed. Let's zoom in. Let's check out some of the more sculptures. Ooh, here we got a Doric column. Right? This would be Doric, not a Corinthian. We got some to be on buildings. Maybe this was supposed to be installed on the Brooklyn Museum. Maybe. Sarah says, I think she's fab. Hyde says, Midsummer's Eve is here in Denmark right now. It's 8 p.m., but the weather's rainy, so the traditional bonfires won't be getting lit as much. Oh, that's so cool, Hyde. Happy Midsummer's Eve. That's a replica. What do you mean alternate version? There's only one man, says Tara. That's a matter of speaking, Tara. Let's not get too hung up on semantics. Did she ever get hit up? Great question. I think Lady Liberty has many photos of lightning striking her. Hyde says it's the 4 titans holding up the world. Oh, interesting. Thank you so much, Hyde. Beautiful. These are so cool. Oh, I want one. I want to take one of these home. Which one would you take home? Let's check out this.
Here is your lemonade. And that should probably be about.
So there is an outdoor food truck here in the Brooklyn Museum. This is an awesome museum. Truly awesome museum. One of my favorites. Sure, it's not as action-packed or as full as, say, the Met, but there's something beautiful about the museum, especially the museum since it's more spacious than the Met in terms of that they don't stuff too much things in it. I think is part of its magic. Francine says, am I going to Greece? Yes, I am. I'm going to Greece. This is a beautiful sculpture. Wow. Wow. More like Oz. Also deserves a whoa, like Keanu Reeves. But it's not really a statue that deserves a whoa. like that character from Blossom, Joey from Blossom. See what this is. So the ones on top, the stone heads, were installed at were installed at the Park Lane Hotel in Manhattan, designed by Schultz and Weaver. It says these large keystones of male heads wearing garlands of grapevines represent satyrs, mythological creatures that are part human, part animal, or perhaps Bacchus, the god of wine in classical mythology. Their lively visages once adorned the facade of the Park Lane Hotel at Park Avenue between 48th and 49th Streets in Manhattan. The 14-story building was demolished in 1966, so that's why they brought it here. And then the statue that we're seeing here, this one. Thank you so much for A. Weinman, the slumbering female figure, once stood beside a huge clock above the entrance of the Pennsylvania station. The vast complex, completed in 1910, was designed by Charles McKim of McKim, Mead and White, who used to work a lot with Stanford White, and it was modeled after Roman baths of Caracalla. Oh, Caracalla, yes. Can't wait to go back to Rome. A column for the waiting of the sculpture garden. Each of the 4 pedestrian entryways to the terminal was surmounted by a clock, flanked by 2 allegorical figures representing time. Day held the flower and the hooded night. Seen here bears a drooping poppy. The terminal building was demolished in 1963. The sculpture was revived from the landfill in New Jersey Meadowlands. So, ladies, Moses a little bit earlier. Well, it's because of him we no longer have this in Pennsylvania Station. Well, he's not directly to blame, but somewhat to blame. Indirectly to blame. Imagine this being in Penn Station today, but no. They had to try to throw it away in New Jersey. Because, oh, it's ugly. It's old. Oh, no. Oh, I don't know what New Yorkers were thinking in the 1960s. This is gorgeous. This is a work of art. And we went from this to McDonald's, a Starbucks, crammed into a windowless Penn Station. Crazy. Donald says the railroad company's financial failure is mostly to blame. Yeah, Donald, yeah, that's why I say indirectly, because the financial failure of the railroad company in part was due to them not getting enough traffic to the trains, because Robert Moses built highways crisscrossing all of Long Island and into New York and into New Jersey. And it's because of those highways, many of the people who started going to the suburbs started using cars. And Robert Moses specifically built areas of New York to be very inconveniently far away from train stations, especially more the suburban areas. And thus that disincentivizing the usage of trains and public transit in New York and Long Island caused the Pennsylvania Railroad Company to go bankrupt, which led to the destruction of Penn Station. And that's why I say he's indirectly responsible. So sad. So sad. I'm glad they at least preserved it, but I just can't imagine. Like this is the type of thing you see in the grand museums of Europe. New York had that for a train station. A train station. It's not only New York, Chicago. City Hall building that was bigger than the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. That was also destroyed. Atlanta had countless streets that were in beautiful Beaux-Arts style, also destroyed. All in the name of the great highway. Were they worth it? Let me know. Jack says, this is true. There's a documentary on the rise and fall of Penn Station. It's a PBS production. You can also find that on Amazon Prime. Yeah. There's a few great documentaries. Here's another plaque. This one is in the spirit of Art Nouveau. And it was located in 3rd Avenue in Manhattan by an unknown architect. Justin says he built highways in such a way that buses from the inner city weren't going to the suburbs. Right. That was another thing, yeah. No, not even buses could get to the suburbs. So it was fully car dependent. Because if at least buses were allowed, then, you know, it might be easier to kind of salvage the public transportation, the lack of public transportation in the outskirts of New York City. This was creepy. Oh my god. It's like the movie It. Oh. Stay away from the blue balloon right by the creepy statue. Says that it's the soul of Robert Moses coming once again. Fear the ghost of Robert Moses. Peace Ghost says, please inform us. We're hungry for knowledge. Justin says, problem is we forgot to build like that. Yeah, you know, if we make machines do all the work, the craft is lost after some time. Let's see if there's anything down here. Parking lot. Ronald says, needs a black and white filter for greater effect. Indeed, Ronald. Is that a shorter, pudgy Statue of Liberty? It is indeed. This is Lady Liberty's sister. It's Paulette Liberty. That's Lady Liberty's sister, Paulette Liberty. AR says, I'm late to the party. Did people ask you if you were excited for the New York Post article? I am. You know, for many years, I thought that live streaming would be very newsworthy. I never got written about. But finally, after 5 years of making videos, I finally get written about for live streaming, which is amazing. Any PR is good PR. Wise businessman says hi. I agree with you. Yeah, that is a very true statement. What is down there? Isn't it that during Victorian times, the more heavier set, the sexier, says Ronald. Yeah, that's true. For a lot of eras of, it also applied to medieval and Renaissance. I think our modern beauty standard for women has changed in the past 100 years, but it was very, very different back before the 1900s in the Western / European centered world. This is the Botanical Garden? Qué lindo, somos 347 personas caminando con Ariel. Oh, sí. Así es. Rubenesque, says Paul. Hey, you open up the city in a narrative news, says Anthony. Ooh, we're referring to Anthony. All right, so we are here at the Botanical Garden. I'm not sure if they'll let me film. I mean, I'll most likely be okay once I'm inside, but I'm not sure if they'll let me film the process going inside. But let me know if you want me to try and see potentially a Botanical Garden. If you want to see it, then slam that like button right now. And if you're on FB, it's that heart button, and then share it on FB with any relevant Facebook groups. So slam that like button if you want to see the Botanical Garden. Kay says, yes, please do. Wendy says, yes, please do. George says, yes, please try. Team Like, yes, let me know if you're on Team Like. Slam that like button right now. Like button helps get this reach more people who need it. A lot of people want to connect with New York, want to see New York, and many people out there in the world still don't know that this is a thing. Live streaming, they don't know that live streaming is a thing. They might think that the only way they can see New York is for vlogs that are only like 10 minutes long. But no, if you press that like button, it brings those videos to those people who need it. Maybe people who are very far away and have family here and want to feel a little bit closer to New York. people who have mobility issues and can't just walk around, or people out there who are planning the trip and want to visit New York. And also it benefits you, because once you press that like button, every single live video that you see, you'll see more of these type of videos. They'll start popping up in your feed. You'll get recommended without really trying. So let me know if you want me to show you the Botanical Garden. Team Twitch says, please. Yes, Susan. Oh, I'm glad you're tuning on Twitch. All right, let me put on my mask. I'm gonna put the camera down for a little bit, so don't mind me. How's it going? One ticket, please. No, regular. So what time you guys close?
We have to open it until 8:30.
Oh, wow. Thank you for clarifying. No worries.
Today I'm gonna get a fancy ride now. Okay. What's your humor?
So it was. And there's restrooms. We're here right now. So it's $18, which is well, it's a bit more on the expensive side. Students are a little bit cheaper, so be sure to bring your ID. I think sometimes if you're an international student, they might allow it as well. So make sure you bring ID. There's also a discount for senior citizens. 62 plus, it depends on. And then is in the family, a place like this. This is my New York, and I'll show you why. One, it's smaller. Important. It sounds a bit weird. To walk in and it can you're dependent normally. Mm.
Everyone needs exercise. Even squirrels? Yes,
All right. So there is bad service in this garden, unfortunately. And it is because we're right by Prospect Park. And I don't know why Prospect Park is such a dead zone. I'm very curious about that because there's really nothing really impeding your view. But maybe it's something underground or trains passing underneath Prospect Park. Maybe that's the case. But I'll show you these views. I think this northern part of the park is a less laggy. So I'll show you this area. And everyone, I can't control the lag or the internet service. I can do my best to show you places with the best service, but that's why I have hundreds of videos. And you can see other videos which have a lot better service. But I like sometimes being very spontaneous on live video. I think that's why the beauty of live video, and it does run at the risk of losing service. If that really is a huge bother, then you can always watch a vlog. Otherwise, this is live. We're doing it live. Paul says no line of sight tower. That might be the case. I'm just not sure why there's no line of sight. I'm not sure if trees are really that big of a block. They shouldn't be. Concrete and steel are a lot bigger blocks. Oh, whoa. What was that? We have a shark. Precioso Lago. What carrier do I use? Verizon Wireless. What is this nice place? Asked Khalid. It is Brooklyn Botanical Garden. So I was saying earlier, the reason I love the Brooklyn Botanical Garden is because you can actually access the entire garden walking around. You don't really need a tram. Also, for the people who are mobilely impaired, it's very easy to go around many of the pathways because they're specifically accessible, like this one over here. So this entire pathway is accessible. And you won't be climbing too many stairs. Of course you can, but you don't need to. Access the main parts of the Botanical Garden, no stairs are necessary. That's one pro about this place. The second pro is just so well designed. I think just because it's more dense, you get a lot more action a lot quicker. And I think that's the really cool charm about this place. Compared to Queen's Botanical Garden, which is about the same size, but nowhere near as well designed. And yes, we're in the garden. It is specifically designed. It's matcha water. Yeah, it looks like a good cup of matcha. That's great. Japanese American garden. Yeah, it's nice to have a Japanese garden here. It is very pretty. And then look, they even had these little benches. And this one's covered in poo. Oh, what is this? Getting Florida vibes. Lorraine says, I prefer your live. Thank you, Lorraine. I'm so glad you do. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. This is like a little Greek stage. Anonymous Dude says, bench review? Oh, I will soon. Place for performance? Yeah, I think you can have a performance here. It's a hideout spot. It is. Good hideout from the hustle and bustle of Brooklyn. Wow. I'm in love. Romantic walls, says Wendy. Oh yeah, very romantic. Great date spot as well. So pro tip, friend. In romance, this is a great date spot. With planes passing overhead. Enjoy. This is making me want to go to the great lands of Japan and collaborate with Only in Japan Go one day. George says, Ariel already going to Greece in his mind. You know, it's funny, we bumped into a lot of Greek things today. With the statuary, with that little like theater, kind of looks like one of the theaters I may cover. Hopefully, I'm not sure if there will be service up there in the mountains of Greece. Maybe not. Well, I'll do my best. Que dice Arc, para relajarse, qué lástima que hay aviones pasando, que disturbe la tranquilidad. Too bad there's airplanes above, disturbing the tranquility. Yeah, but it is nice nonetheless. Are you doing a Grease musical in Greece? Hold on. There will be Ariel, not for 1080p though. Penetratis, you've gotten reception? Remember, download speeds are different from upload speeds. So you might be able to use your phone in the mountains, but live streaming is a whole different thing because it's upload. What's the story behind the red door, says Khalid? I don't know, but this is in the Japanese tradition. It's something dealing with spiritual doorways, spiritual pathways. But not sure what exactly it means. Stay tuned, when I go to Japan, I'll definitely be talking about these and do my research on everything I want to kind of learn about Shintoism and Buddhism. And Japanese mythology is really cool as well. To explore the Brooklyn Museum, Adam, many years ago, I got official permission to go inside. But not today. Says the Japanese gate is called dori. Thank you so much, dori. And Hyde said that a dori is a traditional Japanese gate that's within the Shinto shrine, where it symbolically marks the transition from the mundane to the sacred. Thank you so much, Hyde. Hey, Cole says you're an excellent filmmaker, guide, and tireless traveler and explorer. Have been following you for a long time, but it's now that I'm communicating. Hey, call. Everyone give a round of hearts to call on YT for commenting for the first time. Thank you so much for commenting. Turtle wants to be in the video. I think he does. Ariel, I must find out your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It was always the orange one. Raphael was red. Leonardo was purple. Donatello was... Which one? Which one was the orange one? I'm kind of forgetting it, but I always loved the orange one because he really was a fan of pizza, and I relate to that. It was Michelangelo. Yeah, Michelangelo. That was my favorite one. Michelangelo. He was such a fan of pizza. And he was like, you know, he was very silly. He always cracked jokes. I love Michelangelo. Cool guy. He was a hoot. He's my favorite. Raphael's too emo for... I would not hang out with Raphael. He seems like he would be a bummer to hang out with. For anyone who doesn't know, we're talking about the comic book / cartoon / movie series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Paul says he was a fan of Urbanist. Indeed he was. This is a beautiful garden. Wow. Alright, let me show you a little bit more. I won't be able to have service for most of the gardens, but in this northern part, right by the Eastern Parkway, I will. Felix, $18. $18 para adultos is the base fee. So let me go this way. In original native mythology. And Alice says we should change the topic because I could talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja. I'm glad that's the case. Kenya, yeah, I'm shocked when people cough. It's crazy to think about. People still do that in this day and age? What? No, especially in public. Can't be. That's crossing some boundaries. do YouTube and Facebook Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
saw you tweet it. I was like, oh, I should get on my TikTok live. I haven't done one forever.
Oh, nice, nice.
You do like travel stuff?
Yeah, I show like cities all around the world, and usually walk around neighborhoods, landmarks, or parks like these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
How about yourself on TikTok? What do you do on TikTok?
I do travel as well.
Oh, very cool.
Pretty decent. I haven't gone live in forever, so you reminded me of it.
Yeah, I also do TikTok, but I rarely ever do live there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's growing though.
Yes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
is.
gotta
Sure.
do it.
Right. Alright, so beautiful fountain over here, everyone. No, seriously, I'm always making friends. You know, Americans are very friendly, and there's New York is one of those cities, like Mexico City, to a certain extent, where people are very friendly. It's a beautiful thing. I love this garden. It's beautiful. I love this little pathway as well. What park is this, Jeanette? We are at Brooklyn Botanical Garden. The Brooklyn Botanical Garden. And here's this little footbridge. Wow. Kenya says a couple cool hideouts in there. There is indeed a couple cool hideouts. As you mentioned, it's a great date spot. Who wants to go through the interdimensional portal? Let me know. If we step through it, where will it lead? Where do you want it? Fila says, wherever you go, we will follow. Adam says, don't. George says, you'll end up in the cheek taco stand. Yeah, I will. That'll be funny. I would hope Huntington Beach I would end up. That's funny. Anonymous dude.
Yeah. What happened to Elliot?
Hyde says, perhaps we've already gone through the gate. Ooh, Hyde. That's a good existential question. Perhaps we have. And this is through the looking glass. Maybe we are the looking glass. Kay says, thanks to everyone who slammed that heart button and sent stars so fast. Yeah, stars are double this month because Facebook is actually doubling up what they send with stars. So if you send stars, thank you so much. If I reach the goal, 37,500 stars, which is about $375 by July 20th, 21, Facebook will give me double that, which is nice. So thank you everyone who sent stars. And the garden is a symbol for the spiritual. It says Hyde. Yes, Hyde. Great comment. So there's a wonderful meditation you can find on YouTube. There's many. But one type of meditation you can do is a garden meditation. And it's basically you step into a garden through this beautiful wooden door that's covered in vines, and inside you have to make up whatever is inside the garden. So you answer these series of questions of what you see in the garden, and then afterwards you reflect on that, and that is an indicator of how you're doing in life by the way the garden appears to you within the mind's eye. So search garden meditation on YouTube. It's really, really interesting. Tommy says PayPal is easier for you. Oh no, no worries. Thank you so much. That's why I still offer PayPal. Are you closer to your stars goal? I don't know for sure. I haven't tracked it yet. I think I'm getting very close actually. But Kay, let me know if it appears on your end, or if it appears anyone who's seen on Facebook. Tammy says, I love your videos. I'm so glad. Where are you? Xochimilco, says Zapato? Oh no. Not Xochimilco. Though the water looks the same as it does in Xochimilco. Xochimilco are the canals of the Aztecs, the Mexica, and the other kingdoms in southern Mexico City. But no, we're not here. Hola, güey. Ese zapato. Hola, güey. Este parque está bien chido, as the Mexicans like to say. This park is very cool. Oh, Roland says this is a great place to go. Indeed it is. That sound, very philosophical, says Juanita. A positive attitude will take you far. Thank you so much, Juanita.
Any type of thing you bring up to me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Hey, I'm doing math, science, history.
Ark dice, me recuerda las películas animaciones de Ghibli, de Miyazaki. It reminds me of the Miyazaki films. Yeah, this does look like a Miyazaki film. Ark is referring to films like Spirited Away. Ponyo, I think, is one of them. And there's many others. Let me know, what's your favorite Miyazaki film? My Neighbor Totoro is, oh my god, that film is intense. It looks cute and cuddly from the cover, but it is one of the more intense films I've ever seen in my life. Why is the water so green? Is it due to the reflection? No, it's due to probably a moss or a type of algae. Angus, thank you so much for 100 stars. I appreciate you. Fila says Princess Mononoke. Veronica, what's my name? Ariel. Howl's Moving Castle is good. I haven't seen that one yet. Oh, that's so cool. Zapato, I wish this was your backyard, huh? Yeah. This is a great backyard to have. Paul, did you really? And walking through pine groves are known to lower your blood pressure. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we're walking through pine groves indeed. Is that? Where are you? Oh, it's directly above our heads. Paul, thank you so much for the very generous $25, which is in stars. Thank you so much. Yes, about $25. Thank you so much. Paul gave a very generous $25 super chat. Thank you so much. Everyone, give a round of hearts to Paul. Very, very generous super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, Paul. Paul is joining in and sponsoring this trip to the Botanical Gardens spontaneously. What will we find through this gateway? Dimensional portal. Are you ready to step through? All right, let's go. Wait. What? Okay. That's weird. All right, let's go again. Let's see if this is. All right, we entered the black and white dimension. I hope you enjoy it. So that back there is color. Over here is black and white. I hope you enjoy it. Might as well be. Adam said, oh yeah, we're on the other side. Into the early 20th century, yep. This is the time travel episode, everyone. Okay, so that was a little bit fun. There's no service in 1890, so let's go back to 2000 because there's no service. Who would think it? I can't live stream in 1890. We're back in 2021. I'll show you these views one more time of the But I wanted to see the colored dresses of the picnic. Back to the modern world, says Adam. Joe says you're buffering in 2021. 100 years have passed and we're still buffering. And Namastu says, please thumbs up our guy if you would like to see more time travel. That's funny. The good old days, says Kenya. Nas, are we in a time traveling machine? Indeed we are. But there's no service back in 1890, unfortunately. Paul says, I don't think we're in Brooklyn anymore, Dorothy. Let's do this for the rest of the stream. Veronica, do I speak Spanish? Sí, hablo español. Puede preguntar cualquier cosa en español. It's like Wizard of Oz. Indeed it is. It's cool. That's the interdimensional gateway, so I hope you enjoyed it. You got some Instagrams being shot. It ain't a beautiful park if it ain't for Instagram. Ooh, Ark says, if you want to see... I love Paprika. Great film. Paprika is basically the precursor to Inception. Christopher Nolan totally saw Paprika and took a lot of elements from it, even though he denies it. Whoa. Oh my god, a mallard duck. Look at that beautiful mallard duck. He just came flying in. Oh, this is our duck friend. There's Derek. Derek the duck. Here he is again. We haven't seen him in a while. We met him briefly in World Trade Center area, Brooklyn Plaza area. Is that Mandarin duck abacus? No Mandarin duck here. And the bank goes ka-ching. Indeed it does. Indeed it does go ka-ching. Call says, color changed just right when you pass the gate to the present. Yes, indeed. It was the interdimensional portal of the Botanical Garden. So if you want to travel back in time, everything will be black and white though, so it might be very pretty. Highly recommend going through that gateway. Oh, Derek is there. He went on land trying to find his wifey, Donatella. I'm not sure where Donatella is at. She's somewhere around there. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this little walk through the Botanical Garden. It's so beautiful. Highly recommend walking through it. It's an amazing place. I hope you enjoy it. I wish I could show you more, but there is very bad service once you get more towards the Prospect Park side of the garden. And it's such a shame. That's hard to stream, at least for Verizon. Might be another service, might be better. So thanks to also all the supporters, because the supporters make it possible for me to do different things with data. So soon, once I come back to New York, I'm gonna try to get AT&T service hotspot and see if I can do more of these harder to stream places as well, along with more traveling, of course, and maybe traveling to US cities like New Orleans, or I would hope to do Honolulu. It is extremely expensive to do Honolulu, but the bigger Urbanist gets, the more I reach people. And if people deem valuable these videos and it makes more money, then I can show you a beautiful city like Honolulu, which is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, which kind of blows my mind. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be going live in Greece from June 30th all the way to July 19th. Not sure what will be the exact time, but I will still be doing the Wednesdays and Saturdays at 1 p.m. They'll just be night streams in those cities. Otherwise, I'll be doing live streams at the daytime, which will probably be morning here in US time. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. I'll put on the Patreon link in case anyone wants to become a patron. Get access to bonus videos, 360 videos, especially in Greece when we're coming. We're gonna get access to 360 videos as well, and access to the Urbanist Insiders Club. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.